Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
So with the benefit of hindsight, what would you say makes a good story?
You know, what makes a good story? It really, I have to think now, because I always say that what makes a good story is the fact that you're saying something new. That's why it's news. A story that is a rehash of everything everybody knows is not a story. So a good story is something new. And then you're able to give us that new information in a pleasant way, in an interesting way. So it is new and it is exciting. It reads well. That's what makes a good story.
Okay.
If you're giving me new information.
What makes a good interview?
Wow. A good interview is being able to, when you're able to bring out things that nobody ever could get out from this person. I always say that when a good interviewing technique is to watch the reflections, watch when the person's eyes open, watch when the person thinks again and says, when you see those gestures, know that you are hitting a place and stay on it. So what makes a good interview is being able to catch someone off guard. When you're able to get some unguarded moments in an interview, you have a great interview. Those unguarded moments are the things that make your interview, that give you that spark. That's the Ajinomoto of the interview. The unguarded moments.
Okay. So what makes a good magazine?
Magazine journalism had always been about the news behind the news. A newspaper is in a hurry, but magazine journalism is actually history in the making. Everything about magazine journalism is about storytelling that is exciting and interesting, background that a news story can give you. So being able to uncover and get the background that enables people to understand the matter. Because it is magazine, in those days, we waited after the news has been broken. People want to know what really happened. What's the gist behind it? What is the real thing that took place behind? Those are the things that actually make you have a good magazine story. So a magazine story is beyond just information. It goes to bring out the news behind the news.
So what now happened to your magazine, Business Eye?
Okay, so Business Eye was on, and when I finished, one of the things, and sometimes when you say this, people think, you're just, but it's really true. If there is one regret that I would say, if you say, what is your regret in government? I would say that my regret is that it killed my magazine. And people would say, oh, she's just talking, but that's the truth. Because before I became commissioner, Business Eye was able to survive, pay its way. At least we could pay our salaries. And, you're the listener, so you know what you want. And then you go to take on a job. And ethically, I recused myself completely from Business Eye when I went to work as commissioner. I didn't want my political coloration to taint the magazine. So I refused to be involved. So it was the most professional and ethical thing to do. And so I recused myself. I resigned properly from the board. And throughout as commissioner, I hardly gave them any adverts. In fact, so they got an advert from somebody, a consultant who was working for the River State government, and gave them an advert because they were the best business magazine in the business. So, but when I finished, so I had thought that my foray into government was going to last one tenure. And in 2011, as we finished, I told them, you guys get my office ready, I'm coming back. And I was actually preparing to go, but we had the Garden City Games. So I said, okay, let me finish my work as head of communication for Garden City Games. I was renominated as commissioner for information. So I had another 4 years to go. So because I struggled in that period, it really did. Someone wanted to buy it off and I declined because the person who wanted to buy it off wasn't someone I was willing to entrust Business Eye to their charge. And I had a rule, I came from a tradition of terror where we insisted on no cash for news. So I wasn't willing to give. It wasn't my style. I wasn't going to do it. So I also declined when they had those opportunities. When I finished, when I then finished completely, it was difficult to find. So I came from a tradition of investigative journalism where we put professionalism first, where people knew the work they had to do, where you knew what it meant. And I got back to the newsroom, and the newsroom had changed in terms of being. Now, those who could do the kind of, because we were doing economic and business intelligence, and those who could do that kind of work had been taken over by the business people who were now doing economic intelligence and analysis. And they were the ones working with people like Uncle Bismarck. They were the ones working, with all of those. And I recall Uncle Bismarck said to me, even there's still a gap in this market, and we need you to come back and fill it. And I did try. Business Eye isn't gone. We took a break to re-strategize and to replan. So I decided to stop in 2020 was when you would see that we actually stopped. Okay. And that was because I said to myself, perhaps we need to do, in terms of structure. Business Eye is my dream. And when we started in 2007, we decided to do we changed a lot of things. We went all color, and my previous bosses also then went all color after us. So there were many innovations that we brought in, and we're glad we did. As far back at 2007, we had planned a digital edition already in 2007. We had, if you go and look at that time, we had already a magazine that you could flip, an online magazine. So we had already gone digital before most. Let me just say that our basic idea is still to be able to deliver economic and business and financial intelligence. And the truth is, they're still not in the market. Our niche is still there for us. I recall in those days, the high commissions, Canadian High Commission, the British High Commission, the American Embassy, they were on our mailing list. We're still coming back.
It's all right.